All right. What is up, guys? It's your boy Fat Jolly Guy, and we are back for episode 23 of Edge of the Map Homebrew Campaign. This is our season finale. With the holidays and everything coming up, we're going to go ahead and do our season finale episode, and then we will pick this back up after the first of the year, or maybe even New Year's. I'm not sure, depending on what everybody's schedule is. But this is the season finale. So, as usual, I am joined by our lovely batch of characters. I've got Slow-Mo 21.
Yo.
I've got Mr. Clutch.
Hey, yo.
Mrs. Clutch.
Hello there.
I've got Static Sevenfold.
Hello there.
And then Joe Cool will be joining us after a while, I hope. I've been texting him and he has not answered, but I'm pretty sure he's just caught up at church or whatnot, so hopefully he joins in. I have also been under the weather a little bit, so if my voice sounds a little weird or you hear me coughing, I apologize ahead of time. I'm going to try to mute myself as much as possible to avoid unnecessary coughing in y'all's ears. So, it's been a while since we've all played. We had a jamboree a few weekends ago, or last weekend, right? Yeah, last weekend we did the jamboree, and then we missed a weekend. We missed 2 weekends. So yeah, it's been like a month since we've been here. So I'll have to remember what exactly we were all doing last. So the last time we were here, you had all ventured into the lava tubes through a secret entrance in the VIP lounge of the Velvet Veil. Upon entering the lava tubes, you befriended a group of goblins led by Blythe the Unkillable, and also met a familiar face in the hobgoblin Agden. Through Vesper's friendship of him, the goblins also remained friendly to them and expressed their concerns of fighting an unknown creature in the depths of the lava tubes that had been threatening their village and their way of life. The group decided that they were going to help these goblins, and Agden appreciated the help. As they ventured towards the cave where all the noises were coming from, an adult red dragon appeared, and the party quickly dispatched it. Vesper, approaching the entrance of the cave, thinking to himself this was too easy, found himself face to face with one of the most fearsome foes in all the world. As a Tarrasque of proportional sizes clawed his way up through an empty lava tube, and his head and his upper body poked out of the cave. Vesper took critical damage and was knocked unconscious almost immediately, and the group sprung to action. The goblins, led by Blythe, performed a counteroffensive, even though it wasn't very effective. But through some clever engineering between an artificer and a ranger, a lightning grenade missile was made, which did significant damage to the Tarrasque, causing it to become mortally wounded. As the other heroes of the party rushed to take this advantage and finally put the Tarrasque down, reviving both Vesper, Valmoria, and bringing Nellis back from the brink of death as well. The party now finds themselves after a short rest, as they have watched the goblins systematically tear the Tarrasque apart bit by bit, hauling off the various bones, carapace, and meat to little cracks and crevices that can only be described as a goblin highway to wherever they call home. Now all that remains of the battle is the crushed and desiccated bones of former adventurers and the tattered blood splatter against the obsidian floor of the lava tubes. And that is where we will pick up today's session.
Well,
That was something, wasn't it?
I thought it was
Certainly
huge.
I am certainly surprised that we are still here.
You're telling me. Hmm. Also, your guys' inspirations have been reset to 1 if you had zeros. No, we have not. Ooh, very nice dice. I like the red. Probably did reset. Because with the update to the new game engine, so game over? Where do you see that? Oh, that's weird. Wonder why that changed. Don't know. Maybe I have some hotkeys set up that I should probably take off. Starting.
There we go.
No.
Hey!
Hey!
I joined to tell y'all that I won't be able to join today because I completely forgot about D&D. And we have family pictures at 3 and I won't be home until 4:30 Eastern.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I just wanted to come and tell y'all instead of having to text. So if y'all are still on by 4:30 Eastern and I get home, then I'll jump in, but I apologize.
That's all right.
You're all right.
It's alright, bro.
And it doesn't help that I was told Monday that we had family pictures Sunday, but again, I forgot about D&D. Like I said, I'm so sorry.
It's all right,
You
bud.
know.
Amen.
All right, man. Well, I'll try to tune in the stream when I can, listen to stay abreast. But if not, you guys, happy D&D and jolly. However you want to play my character, please do.
All
You know
right.
my character well enough. I love you guys.
All righty, dude.
Love you too, man.
Love you.
Love
Me.
you too.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
let's get those rolls out of the way. Let's see. DM roll. Oh, 18.
It's just changed.
All right.
And Nellis?
Oh, Nellis needs a roll? Okay, fine.
I'm gonna do one more, but you could scrap it. I just want to see the dice. I just want to see what
All
the
right.
dice looks like. I can't even tell what number that was.
dude.
Hey. Whoa, it did a thing and made noise.
Kinda funny.
Well, that was cool. Too bad that was a second roll for me. All right. I'm good. Thank you.
What the hell is that noise?
It did like a horn, like a bum, 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 and then it exploded with fireworks. That was pretty cool.
That's so weird. Wait, I didn't even know it would do that. What? I have no idea what that was. It's got to be one of the modules I have. It's probably been broken for so long, and then when I updated everything, it was like, oh, hey, I can do this now.
I can't wait for
Hey,
that
I can
one
do
and
it
it
again.
go womp womp.
Oh, I bet it's dramatic rolls.
Well, everyone, I don't mean to burst the bubble, but how are we going to continue? What is our plan?
I don't want to go in the cave where the Trask came from.
Well, cousin, we put one foot in front of the other and move
Oh,
forward.
I understand that, but we're trying to make our way inside the castle.
You're trying to make your way inside the castle. As
Aye.
Agden approaches you. Well, you can always take the ladder over there. I'm pretty sure that leads you right up into the crypt of the castle. That's where the castle throws down all their refuge and garbage.
Point me in the direction, please.
Right over here. As Agden comes to the point of this lava, and he points across.
Ah, I see. And where exactly in the castle will that lead us?
Apparently it leads into the crypts of the castle, the oldest parts. A few of the goblin scouts who've gone up the ladder have unfortunately been thrown back down deceased. So we don't go up the ladder and venture not into the castle. It's best for everyone involved, but if you're trying to get up into the keep, I would say that's the fastest way up. Just prepare yourself for whatever's at the top of the ladder.
Aye. Moria, how are you holding up?
Moria is picked herself up after having been knocked unconscious in that last attack. She's grabbing some potions from her bag and kind of giving herself a quick heal.
Aye. Good.
Did you say that ladder leads to crypts?
Yeah, it leads
So-
to the castle crypt.
So
I
when
wonder
we
if I
get up
can
there,
find anything useful.
When we
Yeah,
get up
well,
there,
that's
are
where
we,
we're heading.
are we just making a beeline straight for the top? Don't really know, what was her name again? The cat burglar. Vesper, please help me.
Abigail.
Abigail.
Abigail, thank you. I don't necessarily know where she is, except most likely in the castle.
Could always look at the pendant.
Aye.
Jolly, I roll perception to check out the giant elephant statue. Or I'm assuming it's an elephant of sorts, right over by this goblin.
Oh, yeah. So there are a few older deity statues that have long since crumbled that decorated the lava tubes down here. You could find remnants of some sort of religious cult or organization of some sort scattered amongst the lava tubes. Different types of brass sculptures and other different statues of long forgotten deities.
Some interesting art down here, that's for sure.
Everything's interesting.
Indeed.
Seems very old.
As you all start to venture about the caves, becoming more aware of your surroundings, Blythe the Unkillable is sitting up on top of a rock, and he begins to speak gobbledygook as Velmora listens to him. And Velmora turns to the group and explains that Blythe is so happy that we were able to assist in the taking down of the monster that had been plaguing his tribe, and that if there ever come a time when the goblins could be able to help the group, that they would be there for them.
I'll do like the double tap of the chest and like a elvish bow.
A monk's bow.
I'm just gonna look at Blythe and nod my head. As, you know, fellow kings do not bow to others.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but a goblin army, whenever we need it, sounds like a hell of a good deal.
Aye.
Val,
Well,
ask him
we don't
about
have
how
to
we
put him
could
on the
contact him.
As Val turns to Blythe the Unkillable. Blythe reaches into his satchel and he pulls out a horn, And it's this, I mean, just twisted, probably like 4 or 5 twisted spindles of a ram horn. And it's got this long golden crack down one side. And he hands it to Valmora. And Valmora, will take it, put it in her satchel. And it is a war horn for the goblin hordes. And whoever holds the horn holds the power. He says that any goblin who could hear the horn will come to the aid of the adventurers.
Aye. That is good. Well, do you suppose we might be able to use some assistance on this little endeavor we're about to go on? Maybe as a distraction of sorts.
Well, I think we should see
Get
what
some
we
guards
have
out of the
going.
castle.
Valmora would caution the group not to use the goblins as a throwaway token. They could come in very handy as powerful warriors, though.
Could potentially be a one-off, cousin. May want to use it in a last-ditch effort.
Yeah.
Well,
Valmora
I
could
wasn't
definitely get
necessarily
behind that
speaking
idea.
of using the horn, but more or less asking Blythe himself. But if you all suppose it is not so good of an idea, I will heed your advice.
Blythe, talking gobbledygook to Valmora, says that he's going to take the largest portion of his goblins right now, and they're going to head back to the village, seeing as they've been gone for many days now, and that he has to make sure that all that meat and material gets back to them in one piece. Because there are other dangers in the lava tube than just the monster that was defeated. Other kind of Dwemer and, gnomes venture the lava tubes, as well as other monsters.
Aye, well, I hope they are able to make a safe journey home.
So,
Sidebar, did we take a short rest after that fight, or?
yeah, everybody go ahead and click your short rest right now, just to make sure that you've gotten it.
I know I did, so.
That doesn't do health, right?
Does not do health. It just does your spells and that kind of stuff. And we did not get a long rest in the lava tubes.
Well, cousin, take a peek.
I was going to
See if
say,
she's still in
Vespa,
the same location.
what's the idea here? Climb the ladder into the keep and rescue your princess?
One can only hope. Let's see what we have.
If nothing else, maybe it'll get us closer to the king. Maybe one step ahead of Archifuck, whatever his name is.
I
It's the perfect name.
do not like him.
Vesper, as you...
Didn't you describe fuck as like an intimate action?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
Dallas.
In fact, it is. So Moon, and you see the dynamics of the word fuck is it's all encompassing. It means a lot of different things. So like, you can fuck, which is intimate, but you could also say that fuck, which is a derogatory. You should try it sometime. Just throw it in somewhere. It'll probably work.
Okay.
I'm just gonna chuckle and start moving forward.
I'm sorry. I just like loaded the shotgun of. She's gonna use it in the most opportune time, and it's going to be the wrong meaning for it.
It's gonna be great. What do you mean?
It's gonna be great. Eh.
And as we say that, I'm gonna nudge Damien and be like, "This should be fun."
Aye. Well, where is she? Same location?
Waiting on the.
So
Did Nellis get his power up?
his power.
His level up?
Yeah, I got my level ups. Yeah, guys, apparently I've been so worried about telling you all about your level ups that Nellis was like 4 level ups behind.
Oh jeez.
So
All right, guys. This is our last opportunity of somewhat peace. Are we all ready? Is there any last things we need to prep for? Does anyone need me to make more fire breath potions? Anything?
Well, I think we might need some invisibility potions. I have 2.
Well, can't Valmoria turn us invisible by just touching us?
She
That
can,
I
is
can as
true.
well.
but she has to
Never
maintain
mind.
concentration on it. So
Aye, well,
That could work though, because we could keep her in the back while we are in the
Right.
front.
fair enough.
Although
Yeah.
Valmoria
Or
likes
it's
to
me
be
keeping the concentration. But I have a pretty I swing a lot. So it's your guys'
Well,
call.
Either way,
It's gonna
Valmora.
end up broken eventually, no matter what.
Yeah.
I know.
Either way, Valmora says it's a very long climb as she points into the top of this cavern, which is just hundreds of feet above, as this rickety wooden ladder spans this massive gap floor to ceiling, and you see the ladder disappear into a hole into the ceiling. Being invisible for that long as we climb is going to be a toll on my mind, says Sheila.
Valmoria, may I
Not yet.
suggest? Why don't you turn yourself invisible when you get to the top of the ladder and touch us as we come up?
Valmora will also suggest that she could try to turn into a bird and fly up there and see if she could see anything as you guys begin to climb.
All right.
I have a different idea based on that.
Okay.
Why don't you turn into a mouse? We are going into a crypt.
Well, because the mouse trying to climb a ladder is going to be a lot of work.
But I can have her on my shoulder.
So you're just going to carry Valmora in her mouse form up the ladder all the way?
Yeah, once I get to the top, I can turn her invisible. I have the invisibility.
Okay, fair enough. Valmora
And
can
then-
like that.
It's a little bit more believable than a bird coming up out of the dungeons. I mean, a mouse or a rat would be, and it's not like she doesn't know it because of
Yeah.
unless what's his name's with us, then we don't need her to transform.
Nope, he's not here. So,
So, I
Carter
mean,
is not here.
yeah.
it's an option. Let me just make sure
Valmora's
that
down for either option, whatever the group thinks is more effective. She can either turn into a bird and fly up and see what she can find, or she can turn into a mouse and go in that way.
I feel like Valmora would love to be carried all the way up the ladder and get a kick out of the
Yeah,
struggle.
probably.
Right.
So that's what'll happen. So Valmora will turn into her mouse form, and let me get the mouse. I only have Carter. Here we go. So Valmora will wild shape and then jump into Vesper's like shoulder garb area as that way he can carry her up there with him. Agden is at the base of the ladder. If there's anything you'd want to say to him.
Friend, it's been an honor and I appreciate your help.
Likewise, I appreciate all of your help with with whatever that was. I don't think that my goblin allies would have been able to prevail against such a monster, though it would not have stopped them from trying.
I'm glad I could help again.
Well, if you ever find yourself in another goblin camp, always drop our word, and I'm sure it'll get back to me. Until we meet again.
Aye, and I'll do the forearm.
The
handshake.
dude shake.
The dude shake. Yeah.
Agden, safe travels home.
Yeah. Whatever lies away for you up there, I wish you the best of luck.
Oh,
Thank you, my
actually,
friend.
Jolly, did you tell us where Abby was?
Not yet.
Okay.
So, Vesper, as you peer through the medallion, you see this familiar jail cell, right? And you see her looking at the door of her cell, and on the other side of the cell door, you see a wooden rocking chair as it is just rocking back and forth like somebody had just stood up out of it.
She's still in her cell, but she's looking at a weird rocking chair.
Aye.
Well, here's hoping the plan works. Is
Aye.
everybody ready?
I'm on your ass.
Nellis is gonna hammer a health potion just to give him a nice cap off.
I don't think I have it.
If you don't have one, Vesper, Valmora would have definitely had one that she'd been able to hand out.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Okay. It's only a few 20.
I have a grater, but I'm not going to use that for
there.
the health.
All right.
Oh, I need that.
So is it ladder time?
It's ladder time.
Take your time.
Aye.
Take your time.
So, one by
Be
one,
smart, be safe.
as you start to climb this ladder, it is strong, but it is old. You could feel that it doesn't sway under the weight of the party as they climb this ladder. And it's high. It's high up there. I need to know the
Don't
order
look down.
of how you're climbing up the ladder.
I am behind Vespa.
I guess it would be Vesper, Val, then Damien.
Yeah, Vesper, then Valmora, Damien,
Moon.
Moon.
And then are you going next, or am I?
I don't
taking up the
care.
rear?
Either or.
Me neither.
All right, I'll just go and then you'll go.
Flip a coin, make something.
Well, we'll roll for it. How about that? I'll roll a d4 and you roll a d4. Okay, so it's me then you.
Okay.
All right, and I need to get the mouse. Put the mouse there. Okay. After what seems like an hour of climbing, you find yourselves at like a little outcropping where the ladder has been separated into two different sections. As it's sitting on this outcropping, you're all able to get off the ladder and you sit on this like edge. It's probably about halfway up this ladder, and you've had an opportunity to catch your breath and prepare anything that you need to prepare.
Anyone have anything to prepare? This is the time.
I have no idea what to prepare on a
I'm
ladder.
preparing an action.
Yeah, right. I am doing a ritual on my weapons.
Well, Nellis has definitely got his shotgun out, and he cracks it open and he makes sure both shells are in there, and he closes it as he slides it back behind his backpack again. And he pull out his pistols, and he's fiddling with them and making sure that they're both loaded.
Checking the sharpness of my blades, taking some flint and shing, 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 shing.
Checking my arrows.
As
I'm doing the same. I'm just heavily inspecting everything I've got. Kind of tight packing my lightning grenade in case something happens. It don't get jostled and blow us all the fuck up.
That's
As
something to
Moon
be
is a
concerned about.
As Moon is a monk, she's very comfortable with her weapons and with teammates who have made her weapons, so
Moon,
she's just sitting there content.
just out of curiosity, Moon, you are probably the most religious of the group. Is there anything with you between you and your deity at this time? Would you be looking for guidance from the many-faced man, or seeking that type of just inspiration, if you will.
You can do like a little self meditation just for like a comforting touch.
Yeah. Now, is this?
Watch intently.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this something that is like a visual aspect, or is there like a spoken thing to it, or?
No, she would like it would be like morning prayers. She would be on her hands and knees like a monk would.
I know that Nellis would see this because this edge is pretty small. You know, there's not a whole lot of room for movement. He definitely would take notice of you praying at this time, and he would remain silent as he can be. Even maybe nudging Whisker and like pointing a little bit to show, you know.
Because it's been a while since she's actually like really connected.
Yeah, it's been
with the god.
It's been some time.
And me being me, not knowing anything about it, I'm just like just gonna sit and watch.
Yeah, but she wouldn't do something like that in such an open place.
Right. Like normally you wouldn't do it openly like this, but
Vesper.
No, it's just a short little thing.
Yes.
At this point, are you having any kind of conversations between you and the darkness?
Yeah.
Is anything, you know, you're trying to glean from him or vice versa?
Just asking him if he's ready to do what needs to be done to help us continue the path, and, you know, if he's still got my back.
He would definitely, at this point, he's at this point, your patron is definitely a ride or die kind of thing. You know, he understands that if you perish, he perishes, you know. You're in the same lifeboat together at this point, so he would be preparing everything that he can provide you as a patron would for your warlock abilities. And Damien, I would assume you probably have your sword out as your brother does, checking the edges.
First, I was checking my arrows just to make sure that they're secure and, you know, tightened well enough to where they won't, like, you know, shatter in midair.
Right.
You know, and then kind of just taking my sword out and, you know, doing like a little prayer. Just for, you know, seeking protection for the group.
Okay.
Question for the DM.
Yes.
You didn't forget about the boon we got from that crazy orb in the library, right?
I have not. No.
Okay. Just making sure. I don't know what it does, but I want to make sure that you know that we have it.
Nellis will go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm kind of just sitting back, watching everybody, like taking note of what they're doing. Because me being me, I know we've commented on it. We've commented on it before. Like Moon was the first one to actually reach out and kind of ask me about my background and what had happened. But as we've went along, I'm kind of starting to pay attention to everybody else.
As the newest member of the group, do you find their actions comforting or concerning? Seeing as how you're not as familiar with the characters.
A little of both, just because I'm not as familiar. Like, again, with Moon and praying, I have that intrigues me because that's not something I've been around. I've literally been sent here to get this knowledge, sent here to get that knowledge. Like, I've seen fighting, I've seen stuff like that, but like on a personal level, it's intriguing to watch. Like, Damien's messing with these swords. Vesper made the comment that, you know, he was messing with these arrows first. I'm I'm taking note of what kind of, I guess, things that they prefer.
Yeah.
Is there like a look of like confusion or fear on his face, on your face?
Confusion.
Moon is going to come up from her like small prayer, and she's gonna take a look at everybody around. Whiskey, you okay there?
I don't know what you were doing there.
Well, I don't want to bore you with my prayers, but
Listen here, kid. I'm pretty sure she's just asking her big man upstairs to make sure she got the room ready for us. You know what I mean? As I kind of like take my fist and pound it on a little bit on Whisker's chest, and that kind of, hey, we got this, nervous kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Moon is gonna smile and she's gonna have that kind of devilish look like, oh, shit's gonna happen. And she's gonna look at Whiskey and choose, we're gonna have some fun. It's best to have a positive outlook on all of this.
We gotta have a positive outlook on it because ain't no other way to be right now. I don't know about you all, but whatever's in the castle can't be any worse than a Tarask. I mean, those things are damn near world enders. I mean, they destroy cities for fun. And well, it's dead because of us, you know? So, you know what? Whatever's up here, we'll make it through it. We'll figure out a way.
Plus, if this is the end, at least we go down together.
Well, if it is the end, at least one of us will come back as he thumps Whiskey again.
Moon is gonna giggle.
Well,
That means that you would meet him yourself, Whiskey. You'll
it works a little different for us, Moon. When a Tabaski dies and he has lives left, he just kind of wakes up in his home. It's kind of like a rebirth.
boring.
Yeah, it's just you remember little bits and pieces of your last go around, but it all comes back to you eventually. But you definitely remember like a last little bit right before the lights go out, and then you see this. You just see the waves, and then you see the light, and then you wake up on wherever it is you call home. You know.
I see.
Can't tell you how many times I've woken up on the gale wind knowing that I'd fucked up, you know?
I can tell you it's at least been 8. Listen, if it makes you feel any better, Nellis, something happens to me, the gale wind's where I'll wake up to.
Well, I'm glad you call it home, bud.
Well, it's your ship anyway, right? I'll say jokingly.
Well, it might as well be his at this point, because if anything does happen to me, you're gonna have to take that back to the Cartography Guild. They'll probably put it in the scrapyard anyway, with as old as it is, but it'll be the only way to prove that I'm actually gone. Because ain't nobody gonna get my ship without going through me, you know?
Nobody's gonna get your ship anyway.
All right. Nellis will stand up on the little ledge, puts his shotgun away, and pulls his backpack straps again. We better get this road on the show.
I don't know what that means.
It means we gotta go back to climbing, Moon.
Oh.
Nellis says that Damien finally stands up in front of his sword.
You're muted.
Picks it up. I don't know why I always do that. As Nellis says, you know, it's better get this show on the road.
The road on the show.
Yeah, I know. You know, he finally gets up from doing his little prayer in front of his sword and sheaths it. Let's fucking do this.
You used it too.
The languages of the kings.
Then I'm allowed to use it if it's only for kings?
No, Moon. You could use it whenever.
Moon, it's one of the most interesting words in the world. Both peasant and king alike use it, and it doesn't belong to anyone. It's truly free. And it doesn't go into any one place in a sentence either. You know what? We get through this. We get this princess rescued. We'll have some drinks, and I'll teach you how to use the word fuck, okay?
With that, I'm gonna put one foot on the ladder, one hand on the next ring up, and go.
Either that, or we'll just go watch Whiskey and Engineering. He'll slam his hand against something, and you'll find out how it gets used about 19 ways.
Give or take.
19.
I'm gonna.
Wow, this must be an extensive lesson.
I'm gonna put my hand on Vesper's shoulder before he starts climbing. I have your back.
Oh, not yours. Let's fucking do this.
Aye.
As you begin to climb the ladder some more, you see the light at the end of the tunnel up ahead. And you see as the rough stone walls of the tunnel slowly become the finished cobble of Castle Foundry. Smooth and more detailed the further up you go. You get to about 4 to 5 feet away from the tube, from where the light is coming from. I'll direct your attention to the not awkward hole in the floor right
Not
here.
Awkward hole in the wall.
Yeah. So, before you all enter the room, Vesper and Valmora, you're close enough now. You want to send her in?
I'm gonna get just to where I'm not seen, and I'm gonna give like a little shoulder shrug.
As Valmora climbs up the rest of the ladder, she jumps out onto the floor. Taking a quick look around the room, scurrying between the boxes as to not expose herself, racing across to an open door, looking through. She'll continue to venture through the rooms, room by room, until she finally makes her way to a closed door. Unable to squeeze between the floor and the door, and seeing no other threats, Valmora will change it back into her full form as she hollers out from across the room that it's safe to come up. In that, not necessarily like a yell, but like, hey, you could come up. Vesper first on the ladder as you appear in the room.
Yeah, so I'm just checking for something.
Followed by Damien.
Ugh. Fucking hate climbing.
Is this box here that has the metal around it heavy?
I would assume so, yes.
I could pick it up, no problem. Or is it like
It's heavy. It's heavy.
reducing the size would not reduce the weight, correct?
Correct.
Hey.
Damien's on one today. Trying to get his mitts about the room.
What is it that you're after? As I try to get the rest of the people up the ladder.
I'm just trying to get the lay of the land, exits, entry points,
Damien,
everything.
as you are 100% on peak, this has got to be some deep shit you're getting into. You look through this room, and it is a rather large stone room, 20 foot high, solid block as far as the eye can see. Two large wooden doors are on one wall, massive, 15 foot each, square top doors. You see several rooms, and you can see daylight coming out of the rooms, except for the one on the far end. The crates in this room hoard random trash and trinkets alike. You smell rotted foods, just other types of refuge. You could smell decay and rot in the air, as you could only imagine that the dead in the cells have been left there waiting for their turn to go down the hole. The smell of oil also is in the air. As you can see, this pile in the middle of the room has leaked some sort of substance all over the floor, and it has a strong odor of oil on it.
Guess I better watch where I flick my
I'm
cigarette.
gonna kind of just kneel down and see if I can confirm what it is.
Oh, let's go.
Wow.
This guy.
Damn! He's gonna use them all now, and then he's not gonna have any for the fight.
Yeah, he's just gonna roll nat ones during the fight.
Don't say that, guys.
As you smear your fingers into it and you bring it up to your nose, it smells like kind of the engine oil that they would use in the giant machine factories and stuff for like processing like the foods, are like the fish processing plants, you know? They've got that thick tarry oil, and it is very flammable.
So again, I
notice
say,
that.
I digress. I better watch where I flick my cigarette.
Yeah. Well, Valmoria?
Val, is that you? Damien?
Abigail, is that actually you?
How did you get in here?
Talk about that later. How the hell do we get you out of here?
Vesper, as you peer through the medallion, you 100% watch. You're looking at Damien's face through the cell door.
You know why I did it.
Oh yeah, what if it's a shapeshifter?
Well, it's only her eyes,
That's right.
so it has to be her. Can't be a fake.
Are you all here? I hear other
Vesper,
voices.
get over here. Yes. How the hell do we get you out of here?
He has the key. He's the only one that has the key. And you know who I mean.
Damien, move out of the way.
Fuck. So I'm just gonna kind of like nudge into the wall and like, God damn it.
Ring of keys.
Yeah, buddy.
I want you to roll.
Okay.
Give me a
What are we
D20.
rolling? Just standard.
Just standard D20.
Should have AP roll it.
Well, you're the one with the keys.
Yes, come on. That's good. That's gotta be good.
The 17.
That's gonna be better.
As you begin to try the keys one by one, first key is no good. You're going to continue to turn the keys. Whisker and Moon.
Yeah.
What is it that you're trying to do?
Should I do an investigation or perception? I'm just trying to have my ears out.
I would do perception if you're just trying to have your ears out. You're not looking for anything in particular.
No.
Guys, keep an eye out on the door.
Moon, as you press your head closer to the door and you hear out there, you can hear what sounds like maybe like a hoof trot. Like you hear that hard clop, 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 clop. But it's just like that.
There's definitely horses nearby.
So high up in the air.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just baffled.
High up in the air, we're down in the crypt. This is probably the lowest part of the castle.
Wasn't her tower like in a tower overlooking?
Yeah, her window is right here overlooking, but it's like ground level out to the town. But
Gotcha.
Kingsbrook is high up on a hill. So even the lowest point of the tower would still be where it was overlooking the town.
Everything else.
Whisker, is there anything you'd like to do as Vesper continues to use his keys on the door?
Not entirely sure. I think I'm just gonna hang back with Moon right now and just kind of keep my eyes open, my eyes and ears.
Okay.
Do I also need to
No.
roll?
No, you don't have to roll for that. Damien's roll, between Damien and Moon's roll, you all are pretty perceptive about what's going on. Vesper?
We're in a big freaking stone room.
Yeah, big stone room. Bunch of boxes, nothing to be worried about.
Some lady trapped in a cage or a
Yeah.
cell that
Yeah,
I've
Whisker
never met.
has fucking zero idea why we're even here or what we're doing. He's following Nellis 100%. Oh, man. Vesper, as you go through your key ring, one of them finally pulls the lock on the door. As the key turns over and the lock pops open, and you push the door open.
I believe this is yours. So I hand her back the medallion.
And she will take it. And she kind of clutches onto it. She goes, "So that's how you found me.
Indeed.
If I'd have known you still had this, I would have probably given you some better clues as to how to get to me."
Yes, that would have helped.
She'll take the necklace as she puts it over her head, and she'll tuck it down into her bosom. "We have to get out of here quickly. How did you even get into this room?"
With the help
Let's
of some
just say-
friends.
We climbed a long way.
"Oh, we're gonna have to climb out a long way. We can't go through those doors. They lead right out into the garrison."
Aye.
As intriguing as that sounds, I think we should definitely not go that way.
Aye.
But the danger below is just as bad.
Well, at least the
we should
danger.
escape that way.
Dangers unknown are better than dangers known, I suppose.
Not when that danger's a Tarask.
A Tarask?
Oh yeah.
You fought a
Was-
Tarask?
No, not only did we fight it.
We're fine. Let's not stay here much
How
longer.
did you get away from it?
Can we talk and walk at the same time?
I'm
please?
sorry, I'm baffled. I
Killed
mean,
it, see?
you killed a Tarask?
Keep your voice down.
I'm sorry.
Walk and talk.
Okay.
Listen to the king.
With that being
And,
said, as you are making your way across the room, you hear the heavy bar on the door slide open. As the door begins to push open, you smell sulfur in the air.
Dragon.
As it creeps into the very edges of the room across the floor, you begin to see one by one as the crates and boxes in this room begin to ignite in small flames of fire. quickly enveloping into a full roar. As fire itself floods the room behind.
Fuck me.
Damien is there. Sort of like that. Right? That's about where you guys were at, right?
I was
Yeah, give or take.
I was like
Vesper
right there.
Vesper was more up. Like this. And Abigail was like that. Right?
Getting hot in here.
Just a little bit.
Through the very wall of flames, you watch as this tall figure walks through the flames.
Oh, why didn't you do it?
I expected somebody would eventually come to get her. But I never imagined it would be you lot. Those meddlesome pirates maybe that she cohorted with, but you. The rabble from town square.
I've been waiting a long time for this.
The would-be Damien Thrawn. How's your kingdom these days, young prince?
You already know.
I do know. And you, little Miss Moon, still hoarding around with this lot? You haven't found your glorious descent into darkness yet?
Oh, two things can exist at the same time.
Oh, I'm sure they can. And I bet you're all still running around with that mangy cat, Captain Nellis. Oh, Princess Abigail, you have set yourself so low if you expect to escape with this rabble.
Now or never.
It would be futile, Damien. I am so far beyond you. So much darker than you. As Archibald takes his hands and he casts fire in both of them, and you could see the flames of the room begin to rise, and the light from the fire casts a shadow past him, and behind the wall of Archibald you see this massive black towering shadow with curled horns and red glowing eyes as it begins to laugh at you from the smoke from the fire. I am so much above you. Shall we dance our final dance?
I thought you'd never ask.
Romantic.
Gonna give you a nasty look, but I see you already got one.
Oh God.
I was gonna give you a nasty look, but I see you already have. Oh, don't ever change, Tim. Don't ever change.
You know what? These are like the one-liners you would get from playing. What's that?
Oh, there's your nat one sound.
That was the nat one
Oh.
sound. Yep. Are you ready for Archibald?
No.
Not really, but I guess we don't really have a choice.
To die would be an awfully big adventure.
I would see
Again.
himself.
As you all begin to square up to Archibald, you see his fire ready in his hands, Vesper, you are first off.
See what we got. 50 feet, huh? Hey, all right, we'll take our 30 feet of movement, please.
Remember, when you measure, you can just click spacebar and it'll auto send you.
One arm.
I like new things.
We're gonna throw Sting. As I channel the darkness into my right arm. Through the sword as I slash as a slash of darkness for 17 attack.
17 misses.
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
Extra attack as I.
You can go ahead and play the.
Oh, I am.
I hear it. I hear it now. It's just very low. Okay. Thank you.
You just gotta adjust Nero. Yeah.
Yep. I got you.
And the left hand will channel the darkness. Another slashing, channeling through the sword into a slash. 26.
26 will hit.
I thought you were gonna say miss. I was like, oh shit. For
Or 11.
Darkness or force or whatever you want to call it.
Vesper, as you channel this dark energy from your patron, and you feel the stings cast out of your hand, they strike Archibald true as one of them pierces his cheek, and you can see this dark energy form a cut on his cheek as he flinches his face in instinct, and he looks back at you, eyes crimson, and you watch as that scar instantly heals on his face.
Well, that's new.
Is there anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
That's it.
I gotta keep playing with the volume because it got a little loud there.
Yeah, the way that the song plays.
As you struck Archibald first, Vesper, he turns to you and he pulls those fires and he starts to spin it together. Archibald looks right at you. I see we have one who dares defy me.
You'll find there's more than one here.
Slow.
Yep.
I need you to make a DC 24 dexterity saving throw as Archibald casts Hellish Rebuke for your attack.
Can I throw a 4 on it?
You may cast throw a 4.
Yeah, it was close. Almost. Alright, so I save.
Here's your damage.
Oh dear.
As you take half damage of 16 points from Hellish Rebuke.
Can I use a reaction?
You can't use a reaction to a reaction.
I take damage. Why can't I react to his reaction?
You want a Hellish Rebuke? His Hellish Rebuke?
I didn't say that.
You can if you want to. If you have reaction to use, you can.
Do I do it? Yeah. Fuck it. Absorb elements. It's fire damage, is it not?
Yeah, it is fire damage, Jim.
Cool.
Target takes an extra 1d6 of the... yeah, okay. So you absorb the fire element.
Yep.
Okay.
Right into my blade. So now my blade is glowing.
Archibald's turn.
Uh,
Uh, where is it? Hang on. There it is. Archibald will cast Eldritch Blast. Vesper, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Born ready.
Oh my god.
Whoo!
And it misses regardless of the one. Holy shit.
Vesper,
That is
as
a
the
17
first
with a 1.
of this Eldritch Blast heads your way, you are able to deflect it with one of your swords. Which sword deflects the blast?
Tidebreaker.
Tidebreaker. As you deflect the Eldritch Blast that comes at you, and you see it land in the floor next to you, you stand there in this wake of magical blast that comes past your face, and you just feel the scorching heat from the magic, and you're surprised that your sword is even intact at this point. You stand there starry-eyed, and Archibald looks at you dead in the eye, and he says, "Huh, you're stronger than I thought." As he tries again. For 13 force damage. And again.
Damn, 3 attacks. Fuck.
For 11 force damage. And again. For 12 force damage. His Eldritch Blast pushes you up to 30 feet.
Just so you know, you never gave me back full health from the first attack that I absorbed. So just add 33 to that.
You absorb the element, you doesn't absorb the damage.
Damn, bro. Crazy.
Yep.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
this is where we die.
I'm gonna say
So
it's
be
gonna
it.
take about 6 turns.
Well, with 7 attacks, yeah. All right.
As you get launched by this attack, you find yourself thrown against the wall and you are prone. Nellis's turn. Nellis, seeing you down, he will move to you and he will pick you up. What the hell was that, Vespa?
That was painful. That's what that was.
I've never seen somebody hit anybody with magic that was that forceful before.
Even my spells aren't that potent.
Val, we gotta get the hell out of here somehow. Nellis will draw his pistol. His only attack. And a 17. As Nellis pulls the pistol trigger and the shot rings out, And you hear it from across the room as it strikes Archibald's chest plate and ricochets. Pew! Whisker, you are up.
Oh boy. Same thing.
Whisker, drawing your pistol, and you fire at Archibald. As the bullet passes, it's almost like he was smoke where the bullet was at, as it just kind of, and the bullet just passes through him. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I don't like this, guys.
Moon.
None of us do.
It is your turn, Moon.
Right. I'm just gonna start low.
24 will hit. As Archibald takes 24 necrotic bludgeoning.
Right at his kneecap. And again with the other hand.
21 will hit.
That's good.
For 31 necrotic bludgeoning.
Still at the same kneecap. I'm trying to fucking destroy it.
24 will hit. For 27 necrotic bludgeoning.
And with the other hand.
And 23 will hit. For 26 necrotic bludgeoning damage.
Okay. So I have a bonus action as patient defense. It says I can spend a key point to take the dodge as a bonus action on
You
your
can.
turn.
Yes.
So does that mean I'll dodge his next
Yep.
attack?
No, that means you disengage. You're able to disengage without taking an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Then I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna back away.
Okay. Damien, is your turn.
Am I in? If I was to move, am I getting an attack of opportunity on me?
No, you are not next to him. You're close, but not next to him.
Okay. So. I'm sorry, can't click on my character.
Jolly,
Yes.
dodge is not disengage, just a heads up.
What is dodge?
Dodge is disadvantage on all attacks made against them for the next turn.
Okay, then
Oh.
what was I thinking?
Disengage.
Disengage. Oh, yes. Okay. So you go back to where you were, and then he'll take
Yeah.
disadvantage. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm casting Hunter's Mark on Archibald. If I actually hit him.
Let's see here. Which one's the mark? I forget. Is it this one? Targeted. Yeah. 25 will hit. And Hunter's Mark deals 6 damage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For 17 arrows.
I'm gonna get the handy dandy calculator out. 17 times 12 for 204 damage.
Let's... Both of my turns. That will end my turn.
Did you do the Hunter's Mark roll? Do you, or is that something?
Yeah,
different?
it was just an additional 6 damage.
Gotcha. Trying to give you as much damage as possible here.
Valmora.
Bro. Abigail can't do nothing.
No, Abigail is not in. She's in the role, but she is not a combatant at this time.
He's the witch, Bana.
Valmora casting Ice Knife at 4th level, or at 5th level. For 24. Archibald's DC saving.
Oh, Jesus. You don't need nat 20s, Archibald. You don't need them.
He will save. Damage. As Archibald will take half damage from the Ice Knife. Vesper, your turn.
Yes, sir. I am, Abby's unarmed.
Unarmed, yes.
I'm throwing her Tidebreaker as my first action.
You've given Abigail Tidebreaker. She is now capable of combat.
Okay. How far does this go? What's the reach? Okay, that's plenty. We're gonna use a spell. We're gonna cast it in the doorway. Just in front of Moon. Right. Yeah, right there. Umbra Burst.
Okay.
And then, do I have to make an attack roll on that, or
Yes.
is it just okay?
Not an attack roll. It is a damage. It's instant
Just
damage.
Okay, because it's an area of effect.
Yes. As Archibald takes 31 necrotic damage from your Umbra Burst. As the dark begins to seep over the walls and the fires and the doors, the fire itself seems to burn the very darkness of your spell. And you see, rising from that slime, that shadow that holds behind Blackthorn as it begins to chuckle again from the wall. Is there anything else you'd like to do for your turn, Vesper?
Yeah, we'll end from there. Actually, can I bonus heal with the potion?
Yes, you can if you'd like.
I'm going to use my one greater potion that I have.
Okay, and that's for 50, right?
It says 25 on the potion, so
It's 50. Graders are 50.
okay, so 50, yeah.
Okay. So that puts you back at 80. Archibald's turn. Do. As Archibald casts Fireball in your guys' general direction, Nellis, Vesper, Valmora, and Abigail have to make a DC 24 dexterity saving throw.
I don't care how big the room is. I cast Fireball.
Except shield does not work because it is a area of effect spell like your Umbra Burst.
You know, Jolly. Oh, that's fine then. I'm gonna give myself back the spell slot.
Yes.
I have resistance, so I'm not immune, but I'm resistant. So what is that, half damage anyway?
You have resistance to fire?
Yeah, I absorbed your fire element and I haven't expelled it yet.
Well, that's true. So yeah, you'll take half damage regardless.
Okay. So if I roll and save, do I take no damage?
No, you're going to take half damage regardless. You have already saved because of that.
Okay.
As opposed to rolling.
Oh my god.
Valmora will take double damage.
No.
Yikes. Let's see later.
Jesus. I'm gonna head out, okay?
And Abigail will take full damage. That's 32 fire damage. Valmora. Nellis. Vesper taking half damage. And Abigail taking the full damage. Abigail is unconscious. Archibald will step forward out of the darkness to Moon as he pulls out his long sword from his waist. And he looks at you, Moon, and he gives you the little click of the tongue as he wags his finger at you. You should not punch outside of your league, little one.
Oh my god, it doesn't hit.
Let's go!
Thank God.
Let's go!
Do you have anything cheeky to say, Moon?
Even though he's got 3 other attacks, yay!
I want you guys to know that Eldritch Blast has 4 attacks on its own per his turn because of his
not
level.
Even extra attack.
Not even his extra attack.
So
It's like
he
magic
can do
missile.
4
He can
Eldritch
do
Blasts
4 Eldritch
and
Blasts
his
at
attacks.
4. He can do 4 Eldritch Blasts 4 times. He has taken it easy on you as he is finding enjoyment out of this now.
Moon isn't giving him any satisfaction of any emotion whatsoever. She's dead-faced and she's just staring.
As you wish, little one.
try again.
As you wish. For 21 slashing damage. Okay. That will end his turn. Nellis is up. Nellis getting out of the fireball. Oh shit. I don't even know what to do. I'm so scared. I'm so fucking scared right now. I know exactly what'll happen and I'm still fucking scared. Oh shit. Nellis pulling out his shotgun.
Hey,
Nellis will holler out, "Moon duck."
she does what she's told.
As Nellis empties both barrels of the shotgun right at Blackthorn for 15 piercing damage. I'm going to use my extra attack. Oh, I can't use that one? I'm out of... Oh, no.
You're out of what?
Okay. Give myself double speed. As I move up next to Archibald, pulling out my rapier. 24 will hit for 14 slashing damage. And that will end Nellis's turn. Whisker, you're up.
Do, 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 do. No, I changed my mind.
He says, nah.
Wait, isn't he immune to fire?
Is he?
I don't know. Nobody's used a fire spell against him.
Well, I
He
guess
walked
we
in
about
the
to
room
fucking
and
find
let
out.
everything light on fire.
Also true.
A 20 hits. For 14. As Archibald is struck by your firebolt, he absorbs the fire in through his hands as if catching a baseball. He caught your firebolt. He looks at you, Whisker. Your Omega fire spell cannot hurt me. Do you smell it? Do you smell your imminent defeat? None of you have what it takes to defeat me. None of you have what it takes to stand in my way. Moon, it is your turn.
All right, I guess it's time to go real hard. First attack. The other hand.
21 will hit.
My second attack.
No. You knew that I was in the middle of this.
For 27.
Sorry about that.
You're right.
27 bludgeoning necrotic damage.
Yes. And in the other hand.
22 will hit. For 24 necrotic bludgeoning.
And I am going to... Let's see. I am going to... And... Let's see. Measure... And I'm going to come here. And do I need to do a strength check to pull Valmoria out?
Are you trying to pull her out of the fire?
Yeah.
Yes, do a strength check. Moon, as you approach the fireball, as the ground itself is sizzling and popping, you can hear stone cracking from this very fire that has your friends trapped. It is so hot and so intense, you're not even able to have yourself reach into the fire to try to grab your friend.
That's all I got right now. I think that's my turn.
Damien, you're up. .28 will hit. For 3 arrows.
I am going to add a D10 to that.
Okay.
I should have one left, correct?
Yes, I only show you having 1.
Oh,
For 5 arrows.
it's better than nothing.
For 55 damage.
After I let the arrow fly, I go ahead and holster my bow, basically. And I say, "Let there be light." And the sword comes out, and we're gonna run at him.
.22 will hit. For 27 slashing radiant damage.
And that will end my turn.
Valmora's turn. As Valmora pulls herself from the edge of the fire and falls on the floor next to Moon. Why is it not moving? That's why.
I have health potions. Maybe she could take from my pocket.
With that, it's top of the order. Vesper.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to pick up Abigail.
Okay.
And I'm going to carry her into here. Well, I'll look at her. No time to sleep. Wake up.
You have brought her back with 1 HP.
That was an action, correct?
That is an action.
Take your sword and run out.
No. I leave her having a weapon.
Yeah, well, like, with what you got.
I think I have one more spell slot there, so... I'm going to cast Misty Step to here. For my bonus.
Okay.
Sorry, got one hand here.
You want me to move you?
Yeah, if you don't mind. And as I poof out of the magical aura that is Misty Step, appearing in my left hand and coming straight through on a slashing horizontal slice going this way, is my ethereal spectral sword.
As you sweep the spectral sword through Archibald's body, it has no resistance as it passes through him. But the shadow on the wall behind him writhes in pain, and because of that, Archibald takes a knee. What was that? No more. I tire of this game now. Do you have anything else for your turn?
That was my other attack. I already used my bonus, so no, that's it.
Archibald, as he stands back up, he begins to levitate 5, 10 feet into the air above you all. And straight down from his hands, he begins to blast fire into the room, pushing you all away from him and towards the other.
An opportunity since he moved 2 squares out of our way, or no?
This is roleplay.
Okay, sorry.
As the fire begins to consume harder and stronger in the room, an explosion happens, rocking the very building that you are all in. As a wall explodes open and Duskholm pirates begin flooding through the wall of the crypt.
Is this where we say fuck?
As the Duskholm pirates run in, you watch as a familiar figure walks through the hole in the wall. A tiefling,
Yuri!
adorned with his trifold hat with a large yellow feather, walks through the hole in the wall. Flamebeard! As Archibald exclaims.
So when he does that, I'm gonna I have a pistol in my hand, and I'm just gonna skip around off of his chest plate. And,
as it ricochets. And you
Captain Flamebeard, Archie. We all know that titles are important after all.
You are who I expected, not this rabble. As Archibald begins throwing magic missiles, or not magic missiles, Eldrick's blasts from both hands, as the Duskholm rebels begin to fall, as each one hit, causing almost instantaneous death.
Sorry, trying to get all my controls back down.
Yuri, is that you?
No
We're still
time for
just in the-
pleasantries. Let's get the hell out.
As Nellis and them start heading towards the door, I'm gonna kind of take a few steps closer. And as I get to Damien, I'm just gonna kind of put my hand on his shoulder as I walk past.
Boy, am I glad to see you. You better
Stop
not
him!
wreck our ship.
They're taking Abby. Stop him!
I'm gonna grab Valmora and help
I'm just
her.
gonna pull my sword out.
Listen, I'm with Captain Yuri. We've got to get out of here. The whole goddamn city's burning. Now you can either stop me and stay here with the madman, or let me go with the princess. Come on, get on the ship.
Yuri, is this true?
I'll explain in a minute. So, as we're getting ready to leave, Yuri's just gonna kind of stand there staring at him. Here soon, we're gonna have to have a talk about my tax return. I fear I may have overpaid.
Flamebeard. You're not going to keep looting me. You and your fucking rebels have been a pain in my ass. You may splinter Duskholm, but they are still mine to command. I'm going to find you. Maybe today, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I will find you. Vesper, as you're looking at Archibald, you notice this black smoke pouring from Archibald's chest, right where you cleave that spectral blade through. And you see the smoke just pouring out of this wound. As Archibald visibly steps backwards through the fire and disappears to the other side of the garrison. Now's the opportunity. Let's get the hell on this ship and get out of here.
Go!
I'm still helping
Vesper.
Val.
Let's go!
Yuri's gonna come over and kind of scoop up Val underneath an arm and start helping Moon.
Good to see you, Yuri.
You as well, Moon. How have you been?
Vesper, let's go!
Stronger.
I'm actually torn on what to do here.
I'm also gonna join in.
No, it's fine. I'll come, but I'm actually like torn on what to do.
You can see Archibald standing just the other side of the flames. He's just standing there, knowing
please.
that he's protected by his fire.
We don't need to lose you again.
I'm gonna point the hilt with no blade and say, "This isn't over." and I'm just gonna walk. I'm not running. I'm just walking, backpedaling almost.
Vesper, through the fire comes an eldritch blast straight at you. If I can, it's a role play, yeah.
Actual? Okay, so then I'm gonna cast shield, and kind of instead of like an aura coming up, I'm gonna kind of smack it away with my sword, like I did the first time.
The next time we meet, Vespa, I will not go lightly on you and your ilk. Watch your shadow everywhere you step. The full might of both Duskholm and Aethiers will come crashing down on you and your friends. And you wish you would have perished in Alranthian with the rest of your useless kind.
Take one step, almost taking the bait. But you're the one who's hiding. I'm still here.
At that point, Valmora's on the ship by now, and Yuri's just gonna kind of walk up to Vesper and put his hand on his shoulder and be like, "Not now, soon, but not."
I'm gonna
now.
shrug it off because I don't trust him still because of who I saw. I'm just gonna walk away.
I'm just gonna kind of stand on the gangplank a little bit and look back into the room before strolling back up it. My captain's coat blowing in the wind.
Aboard the Duskholm ship, which had been landed in the courtyard of King's Landing, and the cannons firing through the crypt as it yerks into the air above Aethier's Landing. On the ship, in all of its speed, as the crew hastens to and from, you see these Duskholm rebels as Yuri takes his spot at the helm. You begin to leave Aethier's Landing, but as you look over the city, you notice massive fires burning in the city. The home in the middle of town that you loved and used is burning to the ground. You see, as Archibald loyalists are streaming through the streets of Aethier's Landing, panic is erupting. They're pouring out of Kingsbrook into the town. Fires begin to erupt all over. You see things such as the Sky Bounty Tavern catch fire. And as you make your way over the rest of town into the farmlands, you see as the gale wind, docked and moored, erupts into fire and flames as it crashes to the ground.
No.
Blistering explosions of arcane energy erupt and sunder the very whole of the gale wind as it slams into the ground.
My ship.
No.
Because my shit.
I don't have a token on here, I don't think.
You are correct. You do not have a token.
I didn't think I saw myself.
There you are.
I thought we left someone behind.
I thought we left somebody behind. As the Duskholm frigate makes its hasty escape from Aethier's Landing, all that can be said is silence amongst you. Even Nellis, holding on to the railing of the Duskholm ship, kneeling on the ground in defeat as he watches his very home in life sunder and burn in the fields of Aethir's Landing. Yuri begins barking orders to the crew, and they're running to and fro. And you could feel the very ship jerk forward with greater and greater speed. Aethir's is on fire, and you are all making your escape.
Well,
At
Yuri,
this point, I have my one blade and my hand to this guy's throat.
I understand that I am happy to see you. But who the fuck are you with?
Well, it's a bit of a long story that might be told a little easier in private, especially with Vesper letting go of my journeyman.
As the rest of the Descombe rebels begin to pull swords as they point it towards you, Vesper. Well, you saved your ass, and this is how you repay us?
We've had enough fighting for one day.
As soon as swords are starting to get half drawn, Yuri's gonna tell everyone to hold. No one draws a weapon unless they want to get thrown overboard. Guests included.
As the Descombe...
I feel like you're seeming to forget that this, technically, is mine and Vesper's ship. You better tell us quickly. You know how we feel about this Duskcomb lot.
Would it suffice to say that not everybody on the Duskcomb side agrees with what's going on? In fact, the vast majority doesn't. We have a few like-minded individuals here who don't quite agree with the ruling class.
Vesper, the Duskcombe rebel that you have a sword to still. He stands there, arms across his chest, as he looks at your blade. Captain gave you an order. My men have stood down. Now it's your turn.
Last I heard, Nellis didn't say shit, and I'm gonna throw him over here. It was a strength check. Or do you want a strength check, or are you just gonna let it go?
No, I'm just gonna let it go. Role play.
All right, cool.
Yuri, I want you to answer this one question now, and then we can have our discussion in private.
Go ahead.
How did you end up with Duskcomb rebels?
That's the long part of it, and quite the tale. I'm gonna open the door to my captain's quarters. If you guys would care to join me, we have a little bit of catching up to do.
Help Valmora
The rest of those lot.
and feed her a
was-
health potion.
The rest of
Slow,
your
you
lot
can
will stay
take off
outside.
Archibald's music.
I thought I
Of
did.
course.
Sorry.
They have work to do. They're not allowed in here.
Now we're out of combat. Let's go with this. Let's go with.
You know, Yuri, there's a lot that's happened here too.
And I'm very eager to hear of everything that's happened, including how you wound up in the crypts.
Is Whiskey and Ellis coming too?
We're also missing somebody else at the moment.
Abigail. Abigail has been taken into the crew quarters and
I
is
was gonna
laying
say
down.
Ship's infirmary.
Yep.
Don't worry about Abigail. She's quite safe. I have a pretty good doctor on board. Grumpy, but good.
Well?
Just so you know, Grumpy Doctor's name is Emily Fields, by the way.
Emily, got it.
Well,
I know I hadn't told you that bit.
Yuri, you have some explaining to do. Get on with it.
So as we all get into the captain's quarters, I'm just gonna kind of stroll back behind or to a cabinet I have and grab out how many's with us? 5 glasses and fill some rum for him, and then set them all on my desk, and just kind of motion for them to take a drink.
I'm gonna move the drink to the side with my sword that's still in hand.
I am not going to take the drink.
Yuri's just gonna kind of shrug down his real quick. So, first off, I would like to offer my apologies about borrowing your ship.
Aye.
But
Continue.
there was an important thing I needed to do, and I'm still searching. I don't remember. Did I tell them about the compass?
No.
So
You
at
are
this
still a
point-
mystery to basically the party.
So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and reach into my pocket and grab out the compass and toss it on my desk. This here was a gift from,
Star Wanderer.
yes, the Star Wanderer. It is a compass that is pointing me in the direction of Admiral, Vanderbracken. I think was
Yep.
the name. Yes. He is my old admiral, and he's the one who destroyed the people who taught me medicine. So before we had left, I had received word that there was potentially survivors that had been taken captive, so I had to go check it out. In the process, obviously, this is a rather large ship, and it's kind of hard to man on your own. So, I may have found some like-minded individuals on some of my travels that tend to agree with your and your brother's path.
Still don't get how you ended up with Duskcomb Lot.
A knock
just gonna
happens at the
kinda-
captain's door.
Enter.
Captain, Emily has the princess in the crew quarters. She says she's gonna be all right, but she's burned over quite a bit of her body. Archibald did a number to her.
Yes, he did always like his fire.
Emily says we should head back for the camp. She's gonna need her medical tent there to give her a better quality.
Agreed. Make way, Mr. Journeyman. I'll see you in a bit.
Right away, Captain. All
Is
hands!
Nelson Whiskey not joining us?
Mike for camp!
I imagine that they're just kind of still feeling very lost at the loss of the Galewind. Well, and as how I met these individuals. Well, whenever you're being chased down by pirates, and you're on a ship by yourself, it tends to get a little dicey. Luckily, we all came to an understanding.
That understanding is.
What's that? They join you, they get to kill the last 2 survivors.
They actually attack the ship because I'm flying Duskholm colors.
I told you to change them.
Aye.
But then I
Just
wouldn't
they
have.
pay for it.
While these individuals, because gentleman does not describe the majority of them, they are merely born and citizens of Duskholm. It doesn't mean that they fight for Duskholm. We
As Damien's gonna kind of take like a big exhale.
and
Continue, Yuri.
besides, if I wanted to kill the last 2 of you, I would have just let Archibald do it. Although
I had
making
him.
him mad is really, really fun.
Would Terry, would you like me to kind of monologue a little bit of what Yuri goes on about
Yeah,
to
go
kind of
ahead.
fill in the gaps here?
Yeah.
So, as Yuri continues to explain the various parts and pieces of since he went missing and took the ship, he explains that he went after this admiral and found himself at the short end of several sticks and confrontations as he was trying to figure out a way to save these Hananuki people that had trained him in his medical ways. Unable to confront the admiral straightforward, he sought out allies to man his ship and to help him on this adventure. In doing so, he ran across a lot of these Duskholm rebels, dissidents of Duskholm themselves. They were sailors and merchantmen and other types of non-military, non-fighting citizens of Duskholm who were upset at the government and their constant warring and their constant need for this perpetual war and nation killing. What you see before you is the very start and the very groundwork of a Duskholm civil war between the common and the upper echelons of Duskholm. Yuri continues to explain that he has been able to leverage this Duskholm civil war to his benefit, as in a type of truce. You see, as Yuri needs members to crew his ship for his search of the Admiral, Duskholm needed ships in order to fight their war against the upper echelon. And now that also includes Archibald, now with the full force of Aether's Landing in his tow. So this civil war has become even more important now. Yuri continues to explain that the men and women on this ship and the ones that are back at camp mean no ill will to any of you. And in fact, they had received word that the princess was being held in the crypt, and they had planned and orchestrated an attempt to break her out. That they had no idea that you were going to be in that crypt that day doing the exact same thing. It was chance, happenstance, that when that wall exploded and Yuri stepped through, that his old allies stood there beaten and battered by Archibald. But it was also the reason that Yuri could say for sure that he was able to successfully get the princess out of Aether's Landing. He's hopeful that when the princess is able to regain her strength, that she'll be a key figure in this upcoming civil war between Duskholm, being able to leverage the power that she might have still in Aether's Landing against Archibald, and also likewise cause a split in the Aether's Landing in the nation of Aether. And it hopes that broken halves will fight broken halves, you know? As Yuri polishes off the bottle of rum, and the airship begins to descend out of the clouds. You see an island below the ship with a river and a lake in the middle. Yuri says that we're close to camp now.
Well, is that or does that satisfy your curiosity?
No. The
Well,
only
then.
way that myself, and I'm sure that my cousin as well, would trust these people is if they swore allegiance. Otherwise, I'm throwing each and every one of them off the ship.
At that, Yuri's just gonna kind of lean back. We swear allegiance to no monarch, no matter how friendly they may be with the captain.
Aye.
At the end of the day, we're as good as pirates. The journeymen behind you both say. We're tired of all of the upper snobby people telling us, let everybody date That's the whole point of the matter. You have kings and rulers and dictators that are breaking nations one by one. We're tired of it. We want to be free people.
And I am too. Unlike you all, my homeland was actually destroyed. By you. Duskcomb.
And once
How do you say
again,
that I can trust you?
I'm not saying you have to trust me or anyone else on my crew. I follow Captain Yuri because he's there for us. And you know what? At the end of the day, he looks out for us. And as long as he does that, that's where my loyalty lies. Not behind some false monarch or some guy wearing the crown. You want to consider yourself a king or whatever of a broken nation? I'm sorry. My nation's broken too. And yeah, maybe Duskcomb destroyed your nation. But that must have been before my time, because I never even remember this Alranthian of yours. So I'm sorry.
That's because you erased it from the history books. Because I'm going to get up and just walk out.
And that's the entire reason. Is I'm gonna go
I do what my
consult
captain
Nellis.
said. Talk to Nellis.
Captain Yuri, are you sure you want to bring this lot back to our base? It could be a liability.
They may be salty, but they'll come around. There's no need to point fingers at the entire group just because he's a sour apple.
Don't worry, Mr. Journeyman. This is actually quite better than I expected for the first meeting. I thought for sure somebody was gonna at least get stabbed.
I'm just glad that you're not dead, Yuri. You left in such a hurry.
Yuri's gonna just kind of kneel down, and I do apologize about that, Moon. Is there any way I can make it up to you?
You just saved our lives. I don't see what's more you can do. Although you should meet Whiskey.
At that, I'm gonna kind of look over. Is that the new cat?
That's the new Tabaxi. He's from the Cartography Guild. They sent him to learn from Nellis.
Is he related to Nellis?
Look at these brass knuckles he made me. Well, they're not brass, they're necrotic. But I got Archibald a couple of times in his kneecaps with these ones.
As she said brass, Yuri was actually going to reach for him, but then she said necrotic, and he's just like, no. And just kind of wipes his hands on his jacket.
I just
So you're-
love that Moon's like, yeah, he's the new cat. Look what he made me.
It's just because I tickled him.
Well then, I'm just gonna kind of look at Moon, look back at Whiskey, and just be like, okay.
That's what the kids are calling it this day.
I guess.
But yeah, or believe my friend, Mr. Journeyman. They'll come around.
I hope so, sir. We're just about there. We're about an hour out from the island. I'll let you know when we're ready to make port.
Gonna shake my head and start headed down the planks over here.
I'm gonna kind of shove this guy towards the wall, but not enough to throw him over, but just enough to get out of my way.
Gonna come up here and stand next to Nellis. Just kind of leaning on the railing here.
Well,
I'm
hey.
sorry about the gale wind. She was a fine vessel.
Yeah. It was bound to happen one day, you know? So. I guess when you're as known as we are, it's kind of hard to hide a ship like that, you know?
You're just gonna kind
no
of
one was hurt.
smile weakly.
You say that, but Carter was still on the ship.
Who's Carter?
Valmora's pet rat.
Oh no!
I'm gonna hear that because I have super good hearing because I'm an elf. And I'm gonna go, yeah.
So a mouse died.
As they say that Carter was still on it, I'm gonna come to a full realization, like, oh no. And I'm gonna try and listen in my head to make sure he didn't come back to me.
He's not omnipotent anymore. He's not gonna.
What up,
Crown
fucker?
magically.
How you doing, Damien?
God damn it, no.
You have to add an echo effect to it now.
Oh,
speaking
no.
From beyond the grave.
But yeah.
Well, I
So-
don't know about a mouse, but at least none of us were hurt.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I always kind of figured I would go before the ship did, you know?
Not due to lack of trying.
Gonna get on a knee and put a hand on Moon's shoulder and be like, was your totem still on the ship?
But that's okay. I had stolen it from a cave.
Well, looks
Yeah.
like we all lost a little extra something today, huh?
Yeah.
Moon is used to losing everything.
Amen.
Well, the house in town's burning. The ship burned and blew up.
Did anybody see the bar?
Cousin,
Anyone see if
everything was in
Gideon was okay?
flames. I don't think many survived.
I sure do have some hope in Gideon.
Yeah, Gideon's a strong guy. He'll figure it out.
Pull through.
You know, as long as I've been around Athea's Landing, there's always been a sky bounty. So, I
I'm
imagine
sure you
it'll...
know who got his birds out of there, so.
Oh, yeah.
I would hope so. I would hope
Oh,
I'm all worried about
Christ.
Jenkins.
As far as the ship, we can build another one.
Guys, what are we going to do about Stranger?
We have to go get him.
Without a ship, he's going to be up there in that medical facility. We're going to...
I can't be floating around in a ship that has Duskholm's
Fuck.
on it.
Yeah, we can't just go up there with a Duskholm ship. That's...
I don't want to be rude to this crew, but for our safety and for their own, it's best we mask it now.
I agree that we at least change the colors of this bad boy.
Whiskey.
Yuri is going to kind of look up into the sky above you all, and he'll just kind of mention that the Duskholm ship, being Duskholm, provides a very tactical advantage for him getting in and out of Duskholm right now, but that he has an idea, something that he's been working on behind the scenes, and that he can show you when they get to camp.
Still won't trust anybody at this place.
You never
I
do.
hope you know that, Yuri.
I don't expect you to trust them. I just don't want you to stab them. I don't trust half these people. We're pirates.
That's the problem.
I like that. We're pirates. I don't trust half of them. As Yuri's airship gets closer and closer to the island, you see that there's a large opening in a cave, and the airship sinks down through the opening of the cave and begins to land. As it begins to rig and moor in the cave below, the different Duskholm rebels begin to unload their cargo from the ship, which includes the nurse Emily and the princess Aether herself. They load them onto small boats and begin to row up the stream, and Yuri motions for the rest of you to join the canoes and head upstream towards the camp.
Just a little ways up here, and then we'll be at the camp. From there, we should be able to get something to eat and drink, and check on the princess.
All right, Yuri, I'm with you.
Absolutely, both you and Whiskey are on the canoe with me.
Vespa, Damien, come on, guys. We're all tired. We all got the shit kicked out of us a little bit. Let's go see this camp, and we can make our decision from there, okay?
Wouldn't be the first time I took out one of their camps. Let's go.
Valmoria looks up at Damien, still kind of weak from everything.
I know this might not be the best time to tell you, but
Valmoria will stop you right there with a hand, and she goes, I know he's gone. I saw the ship too.
I'm sorry, Valmoria.
He was...
As I'll go in for like a hug, you know.
Valmoria will embrace you in a hug. Although it seems a little awkward from her sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's go get some rest.
As you leave the ship and you take the canoes up the island, the trees and the foliage passing by you all, you finally come to a wooden bridge that crosses over the river in kind of an open area, and you see several tents as the area pops open before you.
Can we take a pause here?
Yes, if we need to take a pause, this would be a good time to pause.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. We're going to take a brief break. You know me, I had to pick a fight with you. I thought you were gonna jump through the flames. Let's fucking go. Yeah, surprise, guys. Terry's our special guest. You did, AP. Me and... Me and Terry have been talking for a couple weeks now about how to get the season finale and how it was going to work out with Archibald, and I think it went off pretty well. So see, that was the exact that's the exact cherry on top that I was hoping for, is that Damien and Vesper are like, fuck this, fucking Dusk home now. Mm-hmm. There's only fucking 2 in the line, so yeah. First place runner up. Nah. No, we needed a place. Nah. Now what the fuck happened here? That happened like 10 episodes ago. 20 episodes ago. Oh man. Yeah, it is forged from Duskholm iron, so yep. Terry, it's just good to hear your voice and have you back at the table, my dude. Yeah, you got what, in 5 o'clock? A little before? All right. What the dog doing? Your sword? Well, yeah, I gave it to you. I gave you a sword. I gave you a purpose for the sword. Okay. Wow. Click, click, boom, motherfucker. Some straight up Call of Duty martyrdom shit right there. Just wait until Whisker uses his RPG to rocket jump. Okay.
Is Terry back?
Everybody should be back.
I know.
I don't
I'm
know.
back.
Terry said he had to go help his wife with something real quick.
I think. Terry, are you there? I guess not.
I fucking knew it.
Well, anyway. Until Terry gets back. As the
Yes, actually,
canoes,
you know what? I'm gonna go with.
as the
Sorry.
canoes dock on the sandy beach of this camp, you see several of these massive, colorful tents popped up in the trees and surrounding areas. And you even see a giant broken hull of a pirate ship that looks like it's been fashioned into some sort of shop. A very large man comes out of the tent and approaches you all on the beach. Well, Captain Yuri, I see you've brought strays home. Welcome, all of you.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, Zero was giving me the look of I'm about to pee on your carpet.
That's fine. I just said, Yuri, I see that... I'm sorry, Captain Yuri, I see you've brought strays home from your adventures. I hope you were successful. As Magnus looks at you.
Always.
Very good.
She's in the medical tent. She may have had a bit of a scuffle with Archibald before we got there.
That's to be expected when you're dealing with that ilk. For the rest of you, I am Magnus. I am the would-be mayor or money runner of this fair camp. Don't think of me as any kind of leader, I suppose. That's really up to the ship captains. I just make sure that the people that stay here have what they need, and the money keeps flowing, you know. We have a war to pay for. Any questions, I suppose? Anything I can do to help you all get acclimated to the camp?
Where is food?
Food, yes. You can help yourself to anything you find around the camp. You can talk to Adrian. He usually deals with the local food and sundry items.
Where will we stay?
There's plenty of beds, tents, and such.
Just walk by. Don't say a word.
Just a fair warning. Those two are gonna be sour.
I guess let them be sour for all I care. We're a merry bunch here. Has drinks and food aplenty.
Merry bunch of murderers.
You are one too, sir. All of us are killers.
None of us have clean hands.
Thank you very much.
All in self-defense, at least.
I'll go get it, or I'll go get them some tents ready here before.
No,
too
I found
long.
my tent. I'm good.
Oh, is this the? This. Okay. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking the purple one down here was the inn.
So right here, this one right there, that's the medical tent. The blue one is your merchant / food. And your purple is going to act as your type of enchanting and magical purveyor, if you will. And then over here at the shipwreck, you have your blacksmith. Then
What's
you
Henry
have
do?
then you have the sleeping tents over here in this area. What'd you say, Slow?
What was Henry? I didn't hear what you said.
He's a blacksmith.
Gotcha.
All right. So yeah,
Yep.
with that, Yuri's gonna go and join everyone for some food.
And Captain Yari,
Yes.
Clara has asked that you come visit her in the workshop as soon as you got back. She had the breakthrough on one of the engines. She wanted to talk to you about it.
Okay. I'll head there right away. Moon, I do have some stuff I need to go take care of. Make yourselves at home, and please do keep an eye on those two.
I think it's best that they do have an eye on them.
Yeah,
Thank
maybe
you very
more than-
much, Yuri.
Maybe more than one at times. But with that, he's just gonna kind of kneel down and pat her on the shoulder and start heading towards the engineer.
Here. Yeah, you mind if we tag along, Yuri?
Absolutely. Are you sure you don't need any food or anything?
Nah. Whisker perked up when you said workshop, so figure maybe he can lend you guys a hand on whatever. You know, he's a artificer and whatnot, so.
I'm gonna kind of look back at the one rebel and just go grab a few sandwiches if you don't mind. I know the workshop would be excited to have a good artificer with them. Might be able to show them a thing or two.
There you go, Cotton.
Thank you. So yeah, we'll start shoving off then.
As you take the boat, you finally come up to a cave entrance that had a mine cart. And you row the mine cart inside. And you come into this vast area with this massive airship that's in shambles, parts and pieces. But even Yuri, as you walk through the door, you see the gleaming blue of one of the flight engines purring on the ship. That was not like that the last time you had been in here.
I'm just gonna kind of hold my hand up to shield it from the light as start walking this way. I'm gonna just kind of let Whisker and Nellis gawk as they follow.
Yuri, as Clara yells out.
Clara, I see you've managed to make it brighter in here.
I have, in fact, was able to get that air elemental trapped in that prism that you provided this last time. And I think it'll work for pretty good as an airship engine, if I do say so myself.
So no issues with it then.
Oh, we had plenty of issues while you were gone, but it seems like it's finally stabilized and we're able to control its output. Now, if only we had another one for the other side of the ship.
In due time. They are hard to come by. Both the air elementals and the crystals.
I see you've brought a couple of friends with you. Hello, boys.
I'm gonna kind of step to the side. This is my good friend Nellis and his apprentice, I believe, Whisker.
Well, an apprentice, huh? Well,
You may enjoy this one. He's an artificer.
oh, really? As Clara comes over to you, Whisker, and she begins to pick up your arms and look at your garb and kind of poke and prod at you a little bit. Well, you haven't turned yourself into a robot yet, so I don't know how much of an artificer you are.
I haven't turned myself into a robot yet, but
Well,
yet being the key word.
either way.
But I can. Let's just see here. I can build things like this. I don't want to use it. I'm just gonna pull it out.
Ah. It's a tube?
It's a launcher.
A launcher. What is it, like a shoulder-mounted cannon of sorts?
Exactly what it is.
Ah. Well, interesting.
And if that doesn't entice you, there's always this.
Ooh. Trapped a bit of thunder in a bottle, have ya?
Yes.
Interesting. But I'm more interested in your abilities to replicate things. You see, Captain Yuri was able to procure a magic crystal and an air elemental in his last escapades out into the deep blue. And he brought them back with the idea of using them to power an airship. And through some trial and error, it seems that I'm able to create an engine. But maybe now with you here, and it's a bit of time and effort and the right materials, then maybe we'd be able to replicate said engine.
A little bit of time, I'm sure we could.
Well, any help you could provide would be great. You'll always be able to find me in here, and I'm pretty much the only one working on this thing.
Was the only one working on this thing.
While they're doing that, Yuri's gonna leave those two to talk while he walks over here to Nellis and just stands there next to him, staring at the engine.
You know, it's pretty clever trapping an air elemental and using it as propulsion for this thing. Is that your idea?
I had a little inspiration from some friends of mine and his old ship.
You know, she ain't much bigger than the Gale Wind was.
No, she isn't. And I do believe this one might be needing a new captain if we get it going.
I see what you mean by you had an idea, so... Well... She's gonna take some work. And a lot of love. What are we gonna do, Yuri? About Archibald and all of this big ticket stuff, you know? Talking about civil wars with Duskholm and Aether's land and attacking its own citizens. Like, the world's just gone to hell in a handbasket, bud.
Yuri's just gonna kind of look down at the ground and be like, the fact that you can recognize just how messed up that is, that proves that your heart's in the right place, and that is what we are fighting to protect. Cities and empires come and go, but it's that feeling there that's worth fighting for.
You know, it was literally lifetimes ago when my family was working the fisheries on the coast. You know, my father was a literal millionaire. I could have done anything I wanted in life. All I ever wanted to do was chase the line on the horizon, you know? So...
Yuri's just gonna be like, and that is where we share, and that is one of the things we share.
It's good to see you again, Yuri. I missed you.
Yuri's just gonna put his head on top of Nellis's head, even though he knows he doesn't like it. I missed you too, friend.
Well, we shouldn't leave the others at camp for too long. I know Damien and Vespa got a real sore spot for the Duskholm folk. We might be the only two able to keep them from going crazy, you know?
Yes, I know that they are extremely distrustful of me right now, but I hope that here soon they'll see the reasons behind what we're doing are just.
I can see it, Yuri. I understand people are not their nation, and nations are not their people. At the end of the day, you gotta make your own choices in this world. Sometimes those choices hurt people, and other times they're for people. I always wanted to find the edges of the map for people. To know what was out there so that other people could be benefited from it, you know? Somewhere along the line, I get caught up in all of these big schemes of mine, you know? I spent all of my lives doing this and doing that. But I'll tell you what, I've never had a moment like right now. I got nothing, Yuri. I got no ship. I got no equipment. I got no capital. I've got a backpack with a few clothes in it and a shotgun. Hell, I don't even know if you can call me an airship captain anymore. I'll tell you what, though, Yuri. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get back in those clouds. Nellis is going to pull out a compass. He flips it open, and you just see this, like, hologram of, like, this three-dimensional guidelines that just pop up. And you see a single point on them. Because you see that, Yuri? That right there? That's the island I've been chasing all my lives. It's an island that moves through the sea. And it's never in the same place twice. All I ever wanted to do was map that island. Find out where it goes. That's what I want to do. But if I gotta kick Archibald's ass first and stop a civil war in Duskholm before I can find that island, no, slams it closed. You damn right you got my shotgun for that, buddy.
Nellis, you may have spent your lives going here and there, but I can assure you one thing. Your story isn't boring.
I never said I was a boring person, Yuri.
Oh no. Just think of it this way. All of your deeds that you have planned out couldn't compare to the story that you've led leading up to these points. I believe that even if you haven't been able to map everything and find that find that island yet, it's still been worth it. Besides, look at who you have around you now.
Yeah.
I believe that's worth a little more than a ship and a lab. Besides, we might have one or two of those laying around.
All right, Yuri. Let's make it happen. Let's fix all the world's problems so that we can get back to Oz. How about that?
Yuri's just gonna kind of ruffle his ears. Sounds good. And then stands up.
All right, kid. You coming back to camp? Or are you staying here with the good-looking one?
I think I'll stay here for a little bit.
Yeah, I figured you would. Can't pass up on an opportunity to tinker, can ya?
No, sir.
All right, well, me and Yuri are heading back to camp, okay?
All right.
Clara is just going to take her hand and wave at Yuri and you. Thanks for bringing me help back this time, Yuri.
As I'm walking away, just kind of throw my hand up. Don't overwork this one.
Just like I overwork you every chance I get.
Yuri's just gonna kind of stiffen and, just kind of put his head down and kind of start walking away.
Back at camp. Oh. You guys get enough to eat in there?
Any type of food is good.
Vespa, Damien?
It's
Not my
edible.
type of food.
I got a question for you guys. Damien, come out here. I know this isn't your cut of cheese around these type of people. And I'm not going to ask you whether or not you want to stay, because I know you don't. But I will ask you for something. I'll ask you to make a choice. Will you stand with me, even if I stand with these people?
Nellis, you know that all I want is to get my kingdom back.
I know that, Damien. And if you have to fight a civil war in Duskholm to get closer to that dream, would you do it?
With a frown. But yes.
And what if it meant going to war with the mighty Aethia nation, Vesper? The idea that dreadnought out there somewhere in the sky, able to rain hellfire. Still willing to do that?
I go where my king goes, and I'll always have your back.
Well,
Not yours.
looks like we got ourselves a triangle of respect, I guess. Vespa follows Damien, and Damien is down for a good time. Yuri took me to a workshop, and they got this airship in there. And a not half bad looking broad working on it. I left the kid there. You wouldn't believe it, but they actually trapped an air elemental in a crystal to power an engine. And honestly, it looks pretty damn good. Yuri says that we get that thing operational, and it's ours. In the meantime, we're gonna have to hang out in this Duskholm camp. So I say we make the best of a good time, right? It's not like we can go back to Aethia's anytime soon.
The faster we can get stranger, the better.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do?
All I want is just your word that you're not gonna cause any problems with the Duskholm people. Unless it's really, really necessary.
Aye. As long as they don't cause hardship on us, and by us I mean our party, they will see no harm from me.
Well, that's good to hear. Because we're not looking to fight here in this camp. We're looking to fight far away, to be honest. And if we get that airship up and running, that could be a key point to the offensive for Duskholm. I'll make no qualms about it. I remember your Oranthia. And I'm not too proud to say I was around during the times of its destruction either. I was one of the few on the council who voted against its overtake. But that's maybe too little too late, I suppose.
You don't say.
It wasn't really an overtaking when there's nothing left.
Well, back in those days when Duskholm did something, they did it full force and with surprise on their side. I always hated that. Never a fair fight with the most of them. And unfortunately, it's a dirty tactic that we have to repeat here during all confrontations with the upper echelon. But I can assure you, if and when we are victorious in this civil war, I will give Alranthian's lands back to you as reparations, if nothing else. If that helps ease over any old war wounds for a little while.
One hell of a start.
Yeah. A
Be
start.
able to go there.
Yes. The original borders, all of it. I'll gift back to you when this is all over. That doesn't say anything about its people. If they're scattered, maybe they'll return, but...
Would it be possible for myself and Vespa to go there sooner rather than later? Just to
Unfortunately,
reminisce.
Unfortunately, one of the more heavier fortified positions the Duskholm has currently is sitting on the old capital in the Palace of the Kings. I would say going there right now would probably be a death sentence. We don't have the firepower or the men to bring bear on them right now. But I assure you, as long as we work together and everything starts to fall our way, you'll walk foot in the palace of your fathers again.
I'll hold you to it.
You do that, king atop the mountain. Magnus, with his little staff in his hand, he kind of gives you that, where he taps it to his forehead and gives you like a salute as he returns to his seat by the fire and sits down. Well, that went pretty well, Yuri.
Agreed.
All right.
But, I think it's the common ground.
Well, I don't know much about this Magnus guy, but does he actually have the authority to give those boys that land?
As it sits right now, he's probably the only one outside of the royal family to be able to give that kind of decree.
All right. Well then.
He was on their or he's still technically on their council, but he's on the splintered side.
Gotcha. How many more of these camps you got set up, do you know?
We try to keep that secret to protect them.
Oh, it's fair.
We don't want the location of all of our camps be in one spot. Makes us harder to hit this way.
All right, well. Vesper, I see you're down there.
Yep. Just gonna. Oh, hang on.
Terry, if you need to go, bud, I understand.
All right, sounds good. But it's good talking to you guys again.
Bye, Tara. Good to see you.
Bye, Terry. It was
Bye,
good
Terry.
seeing you and talking to you again, bro.
Yeah.
Yep, see you guys. Bye.
Bye, Terry. Vesper.
How are they doing?
As you approach, you see a very pale-skinned blonde woman. As she's wiping her hands, she looks at you. Well, both of them are doing better than they were. Your druid friend's quite talented with healings.
Good to know. I may need her help later.
I'm Emily Fields, by the way. The only doctor we have here on this sandbar. What about you? Do you need any patching?
Nah, I'll be all right. Maybe a little later, though. I have some experiments to test.
Just don't go blowing yourself up too bad. I don't have endless supplies here, you know?
I'm not the one you need to be worried about blowing themselves up. That guy is apparently working on something.
I've never seen your feline companions before. Elf kind, sure. Orc kind, even. The cat people? Are they pets to you?
They're from the cartographer guilds. So they go around and they map out islands for their guild. They're just explorers.
Interesting. Yeah, and I guess you always find fascinating things when you leave the comforts of your homes, you know?
Indeed. Why do you leave your wonderful home?
Well, Duskholm is not a place for those, especially females, of any type of intelligence. And when you speak out against people on the High Council, they tend to drive you away from them. And I found myself wandering several ports and finally fell in with some other Duskholm refugees. And before you know it, I end up as a ship's medic and end up here.
You trust everyone here?
Oh, heavens, no. They're all pirates and scoundrels, the likes of them all. But as long as I keep them patched up, they keep me fed and keep me safe. So I guess that's where the loyalties land.
Shelter and food. That's what everyone goes for.
Yep. I assume you're
Well,
here.
how's it? Okay.
I assume you're here to see Abigail.
I'm here to see everyone. Need to make sure the crew's all right. Why do you say that?
She's been asking for you ever since she came awake.
Ah. Well, I suppose I'll go say hi. Pleasure, Emily.
Likewise.
The chairs are next to each other? Or
Yeah.
is it like a tent? Okay. I'm just gonna sit down. Hey.
So you actually
feeling?
came.
Of course.
I didn't take you for very much of the sentimental type. At least not for people.
Well, I lost all my people, so I can understand where that would come from.
All this time you had that eye with you. I wish I'd have known. Maybe I wouldn't have had to spend so long in that crypt. Listen to Archibald go on and on about how he was going to do and take over everything.
Yeah, it's a real shame this thing doesn't have audio. Oh, that thing.
Tell me about it. Maybe we'll figure out a way to make sound come out of it. Then you could listen to Archibald monologue on and on and on. I appreciate you coming to get me, though. I expected the pirates to finally make a move, but to see you guys show up was unexpected.
Well, you did rough us up and disappear.
Well, to be fair, you were in my way, so. And to be fair, your druid friend over there, she's the one that flushed me down the stairs.
Also true.
Regardless.
This wasn't going to be a good idea.
Regardless, I do appreciate the rescue. Even if it did put yourself in considerable danger.
Well, hold on to that sword. You never know when you're going to need it. But I wanted you to take a look at this, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
What? This is everything that we found.
Bills of commissions. City records.
The library. Well, let's just say we managed to get past the security. And they're printing false accusations, changing the papers every day.
I knew it. I knew Archibald was controlling it. From the very beginning. This corruption knows no end, does it? And all the time, my father eats it all with a spoon. You know, when I went missing and I didn't return to the palace, and Archibald locked me away in that crypt, he told my father that Duskholm had stolen me away. It caused the great campaign to begin. That's how Archibald was able to get the dreadnought out of the city. Lord knows where it is now. The whole time my father has been eating it hook, line, and sinker. And now look at us. Duskholm really does have me. Even if I am a willing visitor.
Well, I wouldn't really say willing for my end, but... Gotta protect my friends. It's the main goal. Always has been.
I understand at the end of the day that Duskholm leaves a bitter taste in you and your cousin's mouth. But if the rest of these people are anything like Emily here is, or even the few on the ship that I talked to, we might have a decent enough bit of people here. Even if they come from a poor choice of country. But change has to start somewhere, Vesper. One person striking an anvil repeatedly will eventually cause it to founder.
Indeed. You know, I did some real damage to Archibald back there.
You did.
See, possessed. It had to have been a possession.
Possessed? By like what? Demons?
I believe so. You see, this sword, and it's just the hilt. Nothing else. It only strikes true what's possessed. Or has a being attached to them.
Interesting. And you're saying that this sword was able to damage Archibald?
And now I'm gonna go in my head and be like, this may hurt you a bit. As I open my palm, and I just graze my palm with the blade.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Ah, stop it. Ah, fuck.
As I grazed the palm to show the same ooze, I would assume is the same type of style.
What is that blackness coming out of you?
Turns out your library doesn't have just regular old books either.
This is an abomination. What is this? You got this out of the city's library.
Yes, the one well protected by all the magic. Seems that one over there is pretty powerful.
You were in the restricted section of the city's library and found a book bound in skin, and it makes you bleed black ooze?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it bleeding. It's the entity that I've chosen to bond with, giving me slightly more abilities than your average fighter.
I'm going to pretend I understand what you mean by bonded with ooze.
It's a long story, and even I still don't understand it.
Well, if you want to come out, now's the time.
Nah, I'm good. I don't like sand.
Me neither. Anyway, let's just say there's a powerful being that I have chosen to study under, for lack of better analogies. And now he's teaching me, but he and I are now one.
So you've made yourself pact with like a warlock.
Exactly that.
And your cousin is okay with this?
No, he actually killed me.
Oh. Well, you look
yeah,
pretty good for a dead person.
He does, doesn't he?
And then I'll open up my tunic to reveal the four arrow scars.
Oh my.
Well, it was a trying time, but we've got through it. We got through it.
Well, if you and your cousin can come to an understanding after he kills you, I'm sure that this camping with the enemy can be figured out as well, huh?
Yes. Well, there's a lot to unravel. We've found some things. Not sure if this one I should open or not.
Yeah.
But a lot of things. I found one of these charms, by the way. Just trying to figure out what to use it on.
It's a beautiful little mirror. Was I assume it also third eye?
Indeed, it has not been claimed by an eye yet, as they would say.
Interesting. It's a powerful bit of magic to be able to see through somebody else's eyes.
Yes, I tried to pull it out in time while we were escaping to perhaps grab Archibald's, but it was too slow.
He would not have fallen for such gimmick anyway. He's protected by very powerful magics. He would
Like
brag on and on about how he's so powerful and that he would be able to destroy anyone who would come to save me. He would
Well, we're
sit
still
in that
here.
rocking chair for hours. Like he doesn't have anything better to do than come and monologue to me. I probably know more about Archibald's plans than even he does. Well, what are you gonna do?
One, I'm going to destroy that chair.
If it's already not burnt to a crisp.
Something tells me it may not be.
Well.
But I don't think it's him that's the powerful one. I think it's his shadow.
That is an interesting thing. If Archibald is possessed, and it's that possession that's causing him to go crazy, maybe the man is still in there somewhere. Maybe
Well, I'll
he's
be
able to be
honest,
reasonable with.
I don't think I'm going to be the one to do the reasoning.
Yeah. I don't. At this point, he's made his own bed. Whether possessed by an entity that he didn't choose or by choice, it's far too late for that.
Something tells me that this entity isn't just with Archibald. There's got to be a reason why your father is
Mad.
overlooking everything.
I don't know. To hear what Archibald has said about my father and the things that he's done, it makes no sense. My father swore when he took the crown years ago, before I was ever even born, that he swore he would make Atheas a peaceful nation, like his father before him. And now all of a sudden, the king has commissioned dreadnought airships and a standing army greater than Atheas has ever seen, and now we're going to war with Duskholm?
And the city's burned anyway.
And the city burns. That smell of sulfur. Vesper.
Hi.
I know it's a lot to ask you, but when the time comes, I want you there beside me in Kingsbrook when we take the throne back. Even if that means I have to kill my own father. This injustice cannot stand.
What is it you're really asking me to do?
I'm asking you when the time comes to be my blade. If it comes down to it, when all the cards are on the table, I want you to be the man of reason. I'm not sure I would be strong enough to stare on my father's face if it's not him in his mind. I'd be able to pull blade against him.
Well, you have my word. I will be there to tell you to strike or not to. And if need be, I'll do the striking.
Thank you, Vespa. I'm really tired now. I need to get some rest. As she pulls her arm completely with all of its bandaged up, and you can see that her chest has been wrapped in bandages all the way down to the tops of her thighs and even onto her shins.
Rest well. We'll
Thank
get
you.
you some food soon. I don't suppose your medicine can heal this.
You're talking about the oozing blackness from your hand?
Indeed.
Best I can do is wrap it for you if you'd like.
Yeah. When Velmoya is healthy, please send her my way.
She needs some sleep too. Whatever fire you were all caught in, it was burned stronger than any I've ever seen.
Like I said, when she's ready.
Damien.
Yes.
What is it that you're doing right now?
Breaking down.
How so?
Sobbing my eyes out. Just at the thought of being able to return to my homeland, you know, and the fact that Duskholm didn't just destroy it, they made it back up and turned it into one of their camps. So, Damien is breaking down.
Nellis is not really a sentimental, touchy type, but he's gonna come over where you're at, Damien, and he's just gonna kind of sit back to back with you, and just you could just feel his breathing against your back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be all right, man. We're gonna get it all back, you hear? One way or another. Your home, my airship. We're gonna make it happen, okay?
My parents are probably screaming at me from the heavens, cursing me because I have not gone back.
Well, if your parents are screaming at you because you haven't gone back, maybe they're just as foolish as everyone else is. Because the way I see it, what's one man who's unprepared gonna do against an entire nation who occupies a capital? If that Magnus guy is telling the truth and they've set up shop there, all you're gonna be doing is throwing your life away. The way I see it, the way I'm looking at it at least, we got a whole camp full of people here that want to take that place back just as bad as you do. And we've got some guy who looks like he's seen more gold than most me and you combined rolling this thing, you know? So it seems like we got manpower and we got money on our side, which is something we ain't had before, you know? So we play their little game and we're going to get our prizes, you know?
Aye.
I think it's a small price to pay to fight in a civil war for a nation you hate in order to get a nation you love back. I hope you see that, you know?
I do. I've just always dreamed of the day I can go back.
Seems like your dreams are gonna come to be reality someday. At least there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Aye.
All right. I don't know what else to say. Quit crying. You're making the sand wet, I guess.
You're making the sand wet. Hey, by the way, back when we were battling Archibald, I put a D8 for everybody, including Terry.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and add those to the sheets all across the board.
Thought we would need them.
All right. D8s across the board. Moon. What's going on with you?
Moon had originally went to see how Abigail was doing. But since then, she just wants some food, so I believe Adrian is where she was told to go.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna do a perception check.
Dirty
Nice.
20. Okay.
For a quiet place to go to meditate.
If you look between here, right down here, between the purple tent and the brown tent,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like an area, like a supply area, where those tents are housing things. Not a lot of people in that area.
Then that is where she will go. And she will self-meditate. Connect with her God.
Man. Mm. 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 Hello? Hello?
That's new.
Hello?
Hello?
Are you lost?
Not at all. I am meditating.
Hmm. And what is it that we're meditating to?
The God of Death.
Ooh.
The one true God. Have you heard of the Order of the Faceless Men?
I have not. It's not one of the spiritual advisors that I'm aware of. So please do. Share.
The Order of the Faceless Men is a group of monks who I am a part of. And we worship the one true God, the God of Death.
Really?
He is inevitable. Everyone meets him all in the end, and it's the next journey of our beings.
That is truly fascinating. So, if you're a monk, there must be a monastery of this, correct?
Yeah. Far, far away. There are many set up in areas where we are welcomed, which really isn't many.
I understand that. As an astral myself, I don't find many places welcoming. I'm Lila, by the way.
Moonbeam.
Ah, what a pretty name.
Thank you, Lola. I quite like yours as well.
I gave it to myself when I came to be here. Everybody had a name, and it just felt like a shame not to have one of my own.
I like that.
I think it's
I
funny.
was-
I gave myself the surname that also has moon in it.
You did.
Moonheart. I was born when the middle of the moon was missing.
How curious. I was also named after the night sky. The moonbeam was shining directly on me.
Perhaps we are kindred spirits then. Have you ever visited the Fae?
I have not.
Oh. But it is a miraculous place, where the moon shines
love
3 times a day.
That sounds wondrous. I would love to see it.
Perhaps one day we could travel there. Just you and I.
I would love that. What an adventure.
Yes. Well, I must get back to the camp. If any of them ever decide that they need some spiritual guidance or, I don't know, maybe some enchanted things, I guess. I don't get a lot of visitors, but it was good to visit with you.
Well, Lila, I'll tell my group that you enchant. I think they would very much like to meet you.
I seen you had that cat fellow with you. The black one?
Yes.
He has a bit of mysticism about him, doesn't he?
He's not a believer in any religion.
The
He's an
arcane.
artificer and he only
Oh,
believes in his tools.
I see. He may yet be the most religious zealot I've ever met, then. And you're a monk. Ah. I knew an artificer when I was on the Great Islands. And
This music, though.
he worshipped his very tools. They were pristine. And he knew where every one of them was. Except for one. The elusive and ever-growing 10mm socket. He never could find it. Especially when he needed it. He called it divine judgment. If it wasn't meant to be fixed, then a 10mm socket would be here. So... But yes. I could feel the arcane energy coming off that one. I seen he went to the caves with Clara. He's probably working on whatever they're working on in there. Some sort of top secret project, I imagine. Knowing Magnus, it's probably going to change the tide of the war.
I love the optimism.
Yeah.
Well, I won't keep you from enchanting more things.
Yeah, like I said, too many people come to visit me. A lot of the people here are, they're traditionalists. They prefer their steel over mysticism and spirituality. But I seen that you were meditating and I just had to come visit. So I apologize for interrupting you, but thank you for sharing about the many-faced men.
I would love to share anytime anyone asks.
You'll always find
I'm
me at
glad
my
that
tent.
I'll see you soon.
With that, Lila goes back to her tent, and you see her plop down in the sand as she begins to draw circles around her with her fingers in the sand and trace out little runes. All of a sudden, you see that the very ground around her begins to glow, and small pebbles begin to float around her as she almost levitates just ever so slightly off of the ground.
How are you doing that?
Oh, it's just a little bit of magic. A simple levitation spell. I use it like a cushion to sit on. The sand is a good courier for the runes, but just one quick swipe.
You see as she takes her hand and she swipes one of the runes in the sand, and she just instantly just goes right back onto the sand.
Huh. Interesting.
Most of the people in this camp don't even realize what I'm doing. They just think I'm weird.
Well, you see, I'm something of a magician myself.
Oh, really? You don't strike me as a magical type.
I dabble in both worlds, steel and the arcane.
It's weird. I don't get any arcane charge from you.
Mine is a little bit unnatural. Is my hand still oozing?
Are you a
right.
necromancer?
You know, am I a necromancer? As I talk to her.
Nah, you don't strike me as the kind. With the cloak and the dead fingers. No, you're something
I know some
different.
basics. I know
A
some
sorcerer,
basic stuff.
perhaps.
Yes, warlock, sorcerer type.
A warlock. Interesting. You've not made a pact with one of the normal deities, I see. What is it, a lesser demon?
Would you really like to know?
I would not inquire if I did not want to know. I like to study and learn about all of the things arcane and spiritual.
The deity I made a bond with came from this. Its
Ugh,
pages are quite empty, but
that's fascinating. Is this
they
human
weren't
skin?
once. I believe so. I never said it
This
was
face.
the best book.
This face stretched over the front. It almost looks happy to be there. Have you ever noticed it? Its mouth is pulled into a tight smile.
Yes, it changed once we put the gem inside.
Interesting. And this book gave you something to bond to?
Oh yeah, somebody was living in there, and he was took a while to to befriend, we'll say, or at least for the party. But he
Interesting.
hasn't steered me wrong yet.
Well, to be bonded to something that was bonded to a book, it must be neither deity or spiritual, not demon. What is it? It must be an outcast. A dead, not worth dying. Sound about right?
He definitely said he had to have some business with the god of death, as you may have heard from encountering my small friend over there.
I've heard many death worshippers. They all have a different name for him. Some call him Death, others call him the Crow. Hers is the many-faced man. Some of them even call him Void or Father. But in the
Yes, he
end,
said-
it's all the same. They're all looking at their own versions of death.
This one was sent to the void and didn't want to part with his power, so he was banished. And locked
Well.
himself into a book.
He must have been very powerful in order to oppose the void itself.
Well, he
And
is
he
hoping.
probably lost great much power in coming back to the spiritual world. My guess is that he hasn't given you all of his power. That he kind of
No, I
trickle
can tell he's
affects it.
holding back.
Yeah.
Must not be ready. Must not be strong enough.
Well, if he acts as others I have seen before, he'll give as much as he can. He concerns himself with being too weak and that you will overpower him. So he'll only give you as much as he's able to take. He wants to make sure that he can always best you. That's probably why he held so much power in the afterlife.
It's an interesting theory.
Well, it's just a theory. Something to ponder upon.
Indeed. So what do you provide here?
Well, I have several spells for sale. You know, scrolls. I have some potions, incantations mainly. I do a little bit of basic enchantery. You know, mysticism and spiritual healing.
Spiritual healing. Well, mind if I take a look at your goods then?
Certainly. Hmm. I hate to say this, but I seem to have misplaced my bag.
Poor timing on my part yet again.
Well, I feel so silly, and nobody ever comes to ever do business, and the one time somebody does show up, I can't find my bag. Oh. Yeah, come back later. I'll give you a discount, okay?
All right. I'll see you later then.
Damien,
Yes.
how you doing?
Oh, I'm just kind of looking out into the water and into the distance.
Okay. Well, we've reached that magic moment. It's 5 o'clock. Hang on. We've reached that magic moment. It's 5 o'clock, guys. Is there anything anybody wanted to do before we call it a session?
I mean, I could pick up with the blacksmith on the back end. So
Sure.
It's no biggie.
No, I think I'm good.
With that being said, you faced Archibald. He is truly a terror. He is a legendary creature, and he possesses much power. Even with all the damage that you were able to pour onto him in that fight, you guys weren't even close to having the health bar revealed. Archibald is capable of so much more, and he was simply toying with you all until he wasn't. I want you to know that you have escaped to the safety of this Duskholm camp. And while it is an uneasy truce for some of you, others have found it as a second chance. An opportunity to refocus on dreams. We've had promises of lands restored, of new airships, and of adventures yet to be had. But war is brewing on the horizon. A civil war in Duskholm, and the idea of fracturing the nation of Aethiers in an attempt to get at the king. And all the while, the puppet master of Archibald is pulling the strings. This is the season finale for season 1 of Edge of the Map. When we come back in season 2, it will be your time to really prepare. We will be going places and doing things that are going to focus on your character building. And each and every one of you are going to prepare yourself for the day that you go back up against Archibald. So I want you to think about that going into season 2. What is it that your character needs to focus on to be the best possible thing, to be the best chance at defeating Archibald? And with that, my name is Fat Jolly Guy, and this has been the Edge of the Map original homebrew campaign season finale for season 1. We will meet you next time for season 2 on a Sunday in the near future after the holidays. So in the meantime, I love your face. And from all of my players here, I'm sure they will all wish you a happy holidays as well. So thank you guys so much for coming and being with us. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time here on the couch.